my observations, and you hear from 3 participants in the Washington Commanders 2025 rookie minicamp right now on Locked On Commanders.
You are Locked On Commanders, your daily podcast on the Washington Commanders. Part of the Locked On Podcast Network, your team every day.
And welcome inside today's episode of Locked On Commanders. I'm your host, David Harrison, your friend, your eyes, your ears on the ground, covering the Washington Commanders for WUSA9.com, your local CBS affiliate, also doing it for Sports Illustrated's CommanderGameDay.com. I want to thank you for coming through for this bonus episode. We are here in Ashburn, Virginia. Rookie minicamp just wrapped up, at least the day that was open to the media just wrapped up. So coming through here for a bonus episode, I'm going to share some observations with you. And then also you're going to hear from 3 of those rookies yourself. If you're new to the show, I want to thank you for finding us. Hopefully you enjoy what you see and what you hear today, and you come back and join us again soon. Every day, there's those of you who come through for every episode. Welcome back. Thank you once again for coming through for yet another episode. Of course, everybody out there, if you're not already subscribed for free on YouTube or wherever you're listening to today's episode, please take the time to do so now. Locked On Commanders is a daily podcast, part of the Locked On Podcast Network, your team every day. Rookie minicamp wrapping up here on Saturday. Of course, it started on Friday, but because of weather, we weren't able to come out here. So today we get to come through. Sun was shining, players were playing, everything was going really, really well. And from head coach Dan Quinn, spoke to the media before practice began, really talked about the transfer of learning happening from the classroom where the players get the whiteboards, they get the film studies, they get the coaches kind of giving them the intellectual side of things, how they want things to look, how they want things to be executed. Now you want to see them execute, the players that is, execute all those lessons on the field, but then even still, you're going to make mistakes. And DQ said, this isn't about being perfect. It's about being efficient. And I think more importantly, when you get the coaching, whether it be a coach like Anthony Lynn, a position coach, a coordinator, whoever it is, you take that lesson and you put it into application, you put it into action. DQ did say that they were doing some 11 on 11 walkthrough type drills. We didn't get to see those in person, but did say that those some of the things that they're kind of putting into practice this year as well to kind of help get the guys in the mindset of learning the system and things that they're teaching that are going to be part of the playbook in 2025. So a lot of things to kind of go over. People, obviously, you love to see the highlights. You love to hear about the excitement and all these things. But really, this is kind of the first stage of the NFL career for an NFL rookie. Dan Quinn kind of compared it to the onboarding process. So if you go back to when you started your most recent job or really any job you've ever had, the onboarding process, the first day, it's all about kind of getting the lay of the land, just kind of learning what it is that the Washington Commanders are going to do, how they do it, how they get down, as Dan Quinn likes to say, and then figuring out how you might be able to fit into that mold. So it's hard to kind of really physically stand out to a certain extent, especially if you're kind of known as a physical type player. No pads, no hitting, things like that, but certainly some things that we could take away from the practice. And we're going to go through first the draft picks, right? Josh Conerly Jr., offensive lineman, first-round draft pick, something that he's really known for, his athleticism, something that people have questions about, his play strength. This type of a practice, this type of environment, don't get to answer a lot of the questions, but you do get to confirm some of that athleticism. Insiders at the tape study that we did, you saw some of that athleticism on the field or on the tape, but getting on the field level with him, getting to see him up close and personal, about 10 feet away from me, get off the ball at the snap, run around, get into his pole position, hit his gap, do all those things. You definitely see that athleticism shine through. I was actually asked by Linnell Willingham, a local radio personality that a lot of you probably know, if he looks like an offensive lineman when you see him up close and personal, because again, there are some concerns about play strength. Typically, when you have concerns there, they go into kind of size and all those things. And I will tell you, while he's not the most massive offensive lineman I've ever been around, yes, he certainly looks like an offensive lineman. Did some pad work, so you got to see him kind of engage into a pad and drive like he's in a run blocking mode, and certainly did well there as well. But you'll really get the answers on his play strength once training camp comes, once the pads come on, and you get to see those types of things. As far as Trey Amos concerned, really Trey Amos and Jaylin Lane kind of in the same mold here, where what you're really looking for is, do they look like they belong on an NFL practice field? Do they look like they're comfortable? Do they look like they know what they're doing? Or do they look like rookies? Do they look like it's their first or second day on the job and they're kind of trying to catch their breath and trying to figure out what's going on? And I'll tell you, for both of them, they both look comfortable. They both look smooth in what they're able to do. Watch a few routes from Jaylin Lane. I got some video for insiders. You'll be able to get those here on the side and be able to watch those for yourself as well. And you'll see very comfortable in his routes. We're not running full speed. You're not going against press man coverage or anything like that. But you're bringing the ball in. You're showing that confidence in what you're doing on the field. No missteps, no half steps, things like that. So you love to see those. K. Medrano, the biggest thing we can take away from K. Medrano is when you talk about a hybrid linebacker safety, of course, there's going to be all the Jeremy Chin comps after last year and Jeremy's season here with the Commanders. Yes, he looks like the kind of guy that can kind of fill that role. We did see a little bit of like half 7-on-7, I suppose if you want to call it that, defensive drills, ball snapping, defenders running routes against defenders, things like that. Kane certainly, again, looking comfortable. And then Jacory Croskey-Merritt actually got a really unique opportunity with him to be there at a drill where he does the drill, but Anthony Lynn kind of says, hey, dude, I want you to tweak it here, tweak it there, do things a little bit differently. Jacory Croskey-Merritt takes the coaching, acknowledges the coaching, goes there, executes the drill, does it right the next time. That's exactly what Dan Quinn was talking about. It's not about being perfect every time you do something. It's about learning, putting that learning into action, and Jacory Croskey-Merritt, 7th-round draft pick, doing that in front of our eyes during the rookie minicamp. Some undrafted free agents that stood out. Safety Rob McDaniel, someone that we talked about in our preview episode, stood out. You kind of see that little versatility ability. You kind of see the measurement, look at him as the type of guy, and you can kind of understand now. Again, you turn on the tape, you see him engage a guard, impressive. Turn on the tape, you see him get in the box, great. You see him play cornerback, outstanding. But seeing it in person with your own two eyes, that's really kind of what this first glimpse of these rookies is really all about. Does it pass the eye test? Does it make sense when you see them wearing the uniform, when you look at them going through the routes? Rob McDaniel certainly fulfilling that eye test. Wide receiver Ja'Corey Brooks from Louisville via Alabama, another guy that did so. Saw him make a really great catch on a ball that was a little just off place. Had to kind of contort his body, really show off the wingspan and the catch radius. Really good rep for him. A couple of tryout players that we were keeping our eyes on. Defensive back Gabe Taylor for obvious reasons. But again, you also like the play style. You got to see him kind of do that a little bit. Can't hit people, so you can't really accentuate the full aggression of the type of player that Gabe Taylor can be. But you did get to see a little bit of that flash. And then wide receiver Dorian Anderson, all 6'7" of him when you came onto the practice field. I mean, he just stands out. You know what I mean? Just stands out. Did get asked by somebody, like, could he potentially transfer as to a tight end? I would say he's 200 pounds. 200 pounds to 6'7" is pretty thin, right? So if he were to do that, he would certainly have to put on some weight. So I don't necessarily see that in his immediate future. But Dorian Anderson, and he, again, during some of the route tree operations, made a pretty nice catch as well himself. So those are some of the observations. We're going to get to videos. You're going to hear from Jaylin Lane, Jacory Croskey-Merritt, and Gabe Taylor. All of that coming up next on today's episode of Locked On Commanders, part of the Locked On Podcast Network, your team every day. And today's bonus episode of Locked On Commanders is brought to you by Amazon Fire TV Stick 4K. Did you know that the Fire TV is also an Xbox? Turn any TV into your gaming and entertainment hub with Fire TV Stick 4K devices. No console required. Just grab your paired controller, subscribe or sign into your Xbox Game Pass Ultimate with EA Play included, and you're ready to go to dive into hundreds of premium titles, including EA Sports College Football 25, where you can then go in to Virginia Tech, go into Orlando, go into Oregon, go into Louisville, and take control of some of your favorite draft picks, undrafted free agents, so on and so forth, and get some experience on the sticks with those guys. As easily as you stream your television shows, you can be streaming your Xbox video games. You can jump onto your favorite Xbox titles literally in any room, on the road, in the hotel, wherever you can go. As long as you've got internet and you got your Fire TV Stick 4K, you can make it possible. So head to Amazon.com/Fire TV Locked On to get started. Xbox Game Pass Ultimate subscription and compatible controller required. Available on select devices, including the Fire TV Stick 4K 2nd Gen, Fire TV Stick 4K Max 1st and 2nd Gen, and Fire TV Cube 3rd Gen. This bonus episode of Locked On Commanders is also brought to you in part by LinkedIn. As a small business owner, your work doesn't end when the clock hits 5. Your business is always on your mind, which means when it's time to hire, you need a partner that works just as hard as you do. And that is where LinkedIn Jobs comes in, because when you clock out, LinkedIn clocks in. LinkedIn makes it easy for you to post your job for free, share it with your network, and get qualified candidates all in one place. Post your job for free, and LinkedIn's new feature can help you write the job description you need to help you quickly get your job in front of the right people for deep candidate insights. And here's a pro tip: add the hashtag hiring frame to your profile picture to double your reach to qualified candidates. No wonder 72% of small businesses say that LinkedIn helps them find high quality hires. So, unlike the NFL, you don't have to go through all the profiles, evaluate the tape, figure out who they are for you. Instead, you just post what you're looking for and they come to you. It's a lot easier and it's a lot more efficient, especially when you're a small business and you don't have a scouting staff to go out there and hunt down the right candidate. So post your job for free at linkedin.com/lockedon. That's linkedin.com/lockedon to post your job for free. Terms and conditions apply. Wrapping up this bonus episode of Locked On Commanders here on the weekend, coming to you from rookie minicamp. Just finished up watching all that stuff and watching the guys out there and talking to some of these players. And look, some of the interviews were posted by the team on YouTube. So Josh Conerly Jr. was at the podium. Trey Amos was at the podium. So if you want to hear those guys, you can go to the Washington Commanders YouTube page. What I want to bring you here is stuff that you're not going to be able to get anywhere else necessarily on YouTube. Certainly some other places, some other reporters will be posting as well. But we're going to do it here, starting with wide receiver Jaylin Lane.
Since you've come, have you gotten a lot of Hokie love?
Man, as soon as I got that call, it's been Hokie love. You know, they was going to support me wherever I went, but now I'm staying kind of close to, Hokie Nation. I know they're extremely happy.
I think they have like the largest alumni base in the area. So
look, that's a great place to be then.
Right. As far as just what you can bring to this team, we talked about it on draft day. But now that you're out here, able to get some of the drills, do you see things that maybe you're surprised with yourself already?
I mean, I wouldn't say that. I'd just say, I'm here to just dominate my role. Whatever they ask me to do, I want to do it to the best of my ability, and that's what I plan on doing.
Have they talked to you a lot about special teams?
Yeah, we talked about special teams. That's going to be a part of my game. Being a rookie coming in, I got to play special teams regardless. So, I'm excited for that.
Adam Peters said on the McAfee show that, when you came around, there were many people in their room who had you at the top of the board. People stood up for you. What is it about you that you think connects with these coaches?
I'm not sure exactly. I mean, I'm just trying to be me every day. I'm not trying to put on a different face or anything like that. But, I had good talks with them before, the draft. So, I knew that it was a possibility of me coming here. And when it got around to that pick, I was just excited they called.
Based on that, how would you introduce yourself to the DMV?
I'd say, I'm a man of God first, and, I'm a football player, family man, all that. And, my number one job is to, bring my 100% every single day.
How excited are you to catch passes from Jayden Daniels? I know we've asked you already, but now that you're actually here at the facility, how much are you thinking about that?
I'm extremely excited, man. Just being at the facility is exciting, but, knowing, when the vet guys get in and just, the caliber of vet guys we have on this team is excited being a rookie coming in.
Have you talked to Terry McLaurin yet? Has he had any advice?
Not yet, no. I'm gonna be chopping it up with him for sure as soon as they get here.
What sort of a difference can your speed make in a game?
Yeah, I feel like, separation and, deep balls, short routes, whatever the case may be, I feel like, speed is one of my assets, and I plan on using it every chance I get.
Thanks.
Thanks so much. Appreciate it.
Welcome.
Appreciate it.
Can I just ask you one more?
Yeah.
So the process of going from the end of the college season to now, there's pretty much no stop, right? It's just a grind from one step to the next. How have you been kind of handling that process?
Leaning on my family, my fiance, they've been with me every single step of the way, ups and downs, and it's been a lot of good times, hard times that got me through, and so I just plan to continue to do that, lean on those around me and my support system.
And did you know any of the guys that are out here with you this weekend before coming out?
Oh yeah, I knew a couple of them. I actually trained with a couple of them, and one of my teammates was out here with a rookie camp invite. So yeah, I knew a couple of guys.
Good to meet you. Good to see you.
All right, good stuff from Jaylin there. Again, first day getting to meet him. Didn't show it on the video clip, but went around the group and introduced himself, and we all introduced ourselves to him. Again, first meetings, first conversations, things like that. We also had time to talk to running back Jacory Croskey-Merritt. So here is his interview now.
Saw you out there working with Coach Lynn and everything. What are some key things that early on that you've learned from him?
I just learned what's going to work and what's not going to work in this league. I mean, Coach, he played in the league at the highest level, and I just been soaking up a lot of game from him. And it's just a blessing to have a coach who done did what I'm trying to do. So it's been good.
And it's totally different out here as you go through those drills that you probably have gone through before, but out here it's almost like, wow, you got to put the classroom to the field really quickly.
Yeah, you got to be elite. I mean, this is the highest level of football, and I mean, you want to do everything right, but at the same time, he's coaching you how to do it. So I mean, it come pretty natural, and I'm just I'm happy to have a coach like Coach Lynn.
And talk about just having this opportunity to play on this level. I mean, this is, I guess, a kid's dream come true.
it's a dream come true. I mean, still soaking it in, just happy to be here, but at the same time coming in, working every day, knowing you got to put the work in to stay here. So it's a lot of emotions right now, but I'm ready to take on like the challenges that come my way.
And when you look in this this backfield with Baxis here, Brian Robinson, Eckler, and all those guys, what are you hoping to bring to that room?
Just to be different. I mean, I'm ready to learn from those guys. I mean, they didn't been in the league for a minute and had success. So I'm just ready to come in and compete, and that's it. I'm ready to compete.
I know this team especially with their backs, they've stressed being a complete back, involved in blocking, pass game. Where are you in all those different aspects? I saw them, getting you involved in more blocking stuff. How comfortable are you with all of it?
No, I mean I'm comfortable with doing whatever. I can consider myself as a versatile back. So I mean, I want to be able to do everything that's needed to be great at this level. And I mean, I feel like it's going to be good.
What have you taken from these 2 days now so far?
I've taken a lot of game from the coaches. They didn't play at this level, and it's just a blessing to be able to like just get coached by these guys.
Corey, what kind of positives are you taking away from your last year in college football and the situation where you lost those last 11 games?
I mean, just facing adversity, that was the biggest thing, and I feel like I got past that pretty well. I mean, had God and my family on my side the whole time, and it just turned out pretty well.
How do you stay in football shape and just staying ready for the next level when you weren't able to get on the field?
Practicing every day, lifting weights with the team every day, and just being in meetings. Like, I mean, I wasn't able to play on Saturday, but I was doing everything that the team did. So I mean, I was in shape.
Earning those accolades you did at the Shrine Bowl, how much did that mean to you to see at the end of that journey, whatever you got experience, that positivity come at the end of it?
It meant a lot just being able to compete with the different athletes around the country and showing that I can do whatever a team need me to do, and it was just a blessing to be able to get that opportunity.
And number 32, is there any significance behind that? Behind selecting that number?
No, that was the number I was given. I'm ready to rock it.
Hey, I'm sorry if you answered this already, but just you've worked your whole life to be here on this field. Like, what have you had a moment to like stop and look around and be like, oh, NFL practice?
Yeah, I mean, I've been taking every moment in, and still working at the same time. So it's a truly blessing to be here. True blessing.
When you, I know you're taking one day at a time. I'm sure when you look at this backfield, it seems like your style can be something that they don't already have. How do you kind of see yourself fitting in? What do you kind of think, off the bat, your skill set can help these guys?
I'm just ready to compete, and that's it. Just ready to compete, and just try to earn a role. So.
And then finally, of course, the tryout player that everybody's been talking about leading into this weekend, brother of the late great Sean Taylor, Gabe Taylor. The biggest thing I took away from Gabe is one, understanding, the quote unquote storyline. I kind of hate calling it a storyline because it feels like it cheapens it a little bit. Like it's not just a storyline for him, right? But understanding like what it means, understanding who he is and how it relates to the team, how it relates to the fan base, but also understanding that he is here with a purpose. And that purpose is to identify himself, establish himself as a player within this franchise, show them that he can be a contributor and carve out his own NFL career. So here's a little bit of what Gabe Taylor had to say.
Gabe, what does it feel like to be out here with this team? And what has this experience been like for you?
It's awesome, man. Just, doing 1 year of high school football and translating to college 4 years and coming here, I couldn't ask nothing better. I just thank God for the opportunity he gave me, and hopefully I'll show the team that I can come in and contribute any way I can possible.
What was it like putting on the burgundy and gold like your brother wore?
I had to take a moment, take a deep breath when I just looked at the helmet, and I've been just watching the Redskins, Commanders all my life, and just I could have went somewhere else, but I chose here for a reason. And hopefully I get to put it on again and continue forward with them.
Knowing he walked here, do you kind of feel a different sense walking around here? He was in these same halls, same locker rooms?
No, sir. I take it one day at a time. I don't care what the critics say about my height, and they want to compare me to him, but it doesn't even matter. The only goal I have with this team is the last team standing and to win a championship if they get me here.
Okay, we know what this meant to yourself. What did it mean to your family to have this opportunity?
It meant everything. My dad was like, I want you to go to the Commanders. I want you to go to the Commanders so bad. And so, I really wanted to come here too. And I was thinking about it. I took like a couple days after. That's why I didn't say nothing after the draft. I really just wanted to pray on it, and I think I made the right decision.
You've been out here on the field now. What's your biggest takeaway from day 2 on this field?
Just communication. You know, the only way the defense can work is communication, and you got to know the playbook. And so just having time with these guys, trial guys, and see how they want to go with the game and how they approach the game is really awesome to me. And I like this team effort, and so I just love being out there.
All right, everybody, that's going to wrap up today's bonus episode of Locked On Commanders. Again, coming from rookie mini camp. We've got a lot more coming here before next time we get to see these players. May 28th, we'll be back out here for OTA practice. That is the next time we'll see the rookies. They'll be joining the veterans here coming next week, and the Washington Commanders will get their next phase of building this team going. So until then, if you have any questions or comments or things that you want to contribute to the program, all you have to do is text me. To do that, all you have to do is become a Locked On Commanders insider at joinsubtext.com/LockedOnCommanders. For your next listen, check out the Locked On NFL Scouting Podcast with the Draft Dudes. Host Kyle Krabs and Joe Marino will make you the smartest NFL fans this offseason. They're a part of my podcast rotation, so obviously I highly recommend you make them a part of yours. Find them on YouTube for free or for free wherever you're listening to this podcast. As always, I want to thank you so much for making Locked On Commanders your first listen of the day every day. Everydayers, thank you again for coming through every single day, including today. Until we speak again, if you're out and about, please be safe, be kind. I'll see you next time for another episode of Locked On Commanders, part of the Locked On Podcast Network, your team every day.